Hey, P2, do you want to hear some trivia?
Oh, mate, I love a good game of trivia.
Guess what happens when a chook and two pelicans get together?
What's that, mate?
A clucking good time. That's right, you pelicans. The wobbly chook has jumped on board, keeping the bird presence strong. Whether you like a pale ale, brown ale, IPA, or a lager, the wobbly chook has you catered. Crafted from Yamba's finest chooks.
Better still, Mick, how do we get some wobbly chook?
That's easy, P2. Jump online at www.wobblychookbrewingco.com or pop in to 26 Cole Street in the heart of Yamba.
And have a clucking good time.
Cluck out.
Cuckoo! Always remember, don't be a mud gudgeon and drink responsibly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Two Pelicans podcast. So you would have just missed that.
G'day, you pelicans.
Here he was. You were sort of hung up on his door.
Go and have a good time with them a bit later on.
Pelicans landing in 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to the Two Pelicans. You've got P1 here, Mick, and
P3 Bo, how are we all this week?
mates, pretty good, eh? So, look, you've come back for a second week, so that's always good. So look, we're at the moment we're actually it was at 3:00 on a Wednesday, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
And we're just basically I've knocked off work. You've got to go back to work, hence the beautiful uniform you've got on. And so what I was just thinking, mate, how's your week been?
Yeah, busy. Got out, did a little bit of fishing on Sunday. Actually did a little bit of fishing Monday, Tuesday on my breaks down at Corindi there too. So I actually played with some bream.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
At Corindi.
At Corindi there in the
right.
in the little creek there.
So that was just in your lunch break there?
Yeah, had an hour and a half to kill, so
yeah, right.
Little rod, soft shell cicada.
Soft shells, yeah. TMCO?
Yeah, of course.
Right. Look, while we're just talking, I've just sort of, I'm not ignoring anyone here. I just thought I'd just try and get through to this ABT stuff so we know what's going on there at the moment.
Some pretty good bags. Day one.
Yeah, but I might, I'll get back to that in a second. So you went fishing. Anything else? Anything else exciting happen?
My boat's ready to pick up, so I might.
So this is the bluefin?
Yeah, this is the bluefin. It should be ready to pick up by the weekend, so I might sneak up Monday, Tuesday, one of those days, and sneak up into Queensland, pick her up, and bring her home, and then the electric build begins.
It all starts. So I just cracked a wobbly chook. On the Mother Clucker Mid. So big shout out to the guys there at the Wobbly Chook down in Yamba. Keeping us hydrated through these very special podcasts, so to speak. So, anyhow, look, the week gone by, wow, it just feels like yesterday or last time we were sitting here doing the first episode with P3. But look, from there, I've been full on hectic. Work's just been hectic. I know that I started doing a final video shoot for my own YouTube channel around the final boat build of the Basco boats, and obviously in that edit process at the moment, and also editing episode 3 of the podcast as well, which took a lot more work than what I was hoping for, because the actual EP that went on Patreon, it was about 46, 47 minutes, and I think I'm down around 40. So I've had to cut a fair bit of naughty stuff out of that because I don't think YouTube will appreciate it. I also took my daughter fishing on the weekend, but we had a terrible time fishing. We went and fished for a couple of things, and not much was really biting. There was a bit of a fresh down the front, and I don't know whether it sort of turned it off a bit. I did see a couple of betos catch a couple of little bream, but we got snapped off about 3 or 4 times. But just a real funny. I know through the week, Iluka and all that area got, I think, around about 120 mils. So it could just be my shit ability, but it definitely, over the last few weeks that we've been down there, we've been getting like 30 or 40 fish. So I reckon, do you want to try and turn that fan back on?
Yeah, I reckon so.
We're just testing here with the sounds and all that, and the mic and what's coming through the mic. And we thought that the fan might have been coming through here, but I think it's just the old mixer unit's probably telling a few little demons. So anyhow, that is what it is, and so
But yeah, it's always nice for the river to humble you back.
Oh,
After,
of course. And, not every trip can be perfect. The fish were there. You could see the fish. They just weren't really, weren't interested in
and you've got your technology up now.
Yeah,
So
the technology's there to sort of see. And I didn't see any cool fish. Like I was hoping to see a shark. When I was, before I put the live scope on, I was actually at Collis's Wall over the Christmas break and just seen a massive shark on the side scan, and it was just perfect art, like just perfect shape of a shark, really. And that was pretty cool. So,
but we might quickly throw that in, because everyone bangs on about live scope and active target that you've got it, you catch fish. It's a PlayStation, it's a Game Boy.
Yeah,
but yes, you can see the fish, but just because you can see them,
does
not mean they will hit that lure.
Yeah. And, look, tide might have been a bit of a thing there as well. We sort of, the tide seemed to be a lot more prolonged to what Bomb was predicting. So, yeah, there's a lot of factors, but you're right, Bo. Like, it's just another tool. And, we could, as fishermen, strip it right back, get rid of the electric motors, get rid of the sounders, get rid of the live scopes. We could even get rid of the outboards and get the paddles out, I suppose, or go back to kayaking, perhaps. But, look, in all seriousness, once again, it's just another tool.
Yep.
You can see them sometimes, and the fish aren't really interested in what you're presenting. Maybe I should have presented something different, but I was with my daughter. And one thing you got to remember when you do take your kids fishing, especially when they're younger, you just can't go from in and say, right, fish against this rock wall, because they will get snagged 100% of the time. So, and that's what we're here to do, guys. Just remember, we're here to make fishing great again. One cast, one fish at a time. We're pretty transparent sort of crew. I think my YouTube and the history of this show sort of allows us to go through and talk about that sort of stuff. And there's no secrets here, and we'll never have any secrets here. There's no. We're not going to get you to sign up to a special Patreon channel where we tell some secrets, or I think that we sort of echo off that who shares wins motto. That I think the ABT do pretty well. Through that.
I love that. Like I don't know how many times I've burnt myself with that. Telling people, "Yep, there's fish there. I've got to go back and weigh in," and the next minute they come back to weigh in, and they're like, "We bagged out in minutes there." I'm like,
yeah.
There's no better feeling.
So ABT. So we might just go into a bit of a news here at the moment. While I'm looking up the ABT Brim stuff, have you got any news that you want to bring up?
Yeah, I've got a few things that I've written down. Actually.
Perfect. You've got a book this week. You're quite organised.
Yeah, I'm prepared. First of all, we've had some of these ladies on the Women's Recreational Fishing League.
Yep. Perfect.
Actually had a few ladies say that they messaged me and listened to the podcast, and wanted to know more of a good group to get into fishing with ladies. So go check out the Women's Recreational Freshwater Fishing League, or not freshwater, but just fishing league.
Fishing league, yep.
And yeah, give those ladies a message on Facebook, and they will fill you in with everything you need to know. And you might even see me at a comp or two.
Yeah, look, I sort of that is actually on my bucket list this year to take my daughter in that. I'd like to introduce my daughter just to go out and have a fish, and quite happy to sit at the back of the boat for the day while she has a good fish. You know what I mean? Because it is the future of fishing, and I guess from there, whether you fish it like from a lady's point of view, whether you're fishing against other women or like-minded females as well, but it also gives them the opportunity, and I think builds the confidence for them to enter into other tournaments that are probably obviously dominated, I guess, by some male participants. So if we got more females in the whole fishing industry doing the comps or the ABTs or the QTSs or the QFFs, did I get that right?
Yeah, I think it is.
It can only be a great thing, and then hopefully it inspires the next generation of young girls coming through, because I think we've seen that with we've seen that with AFL, rugby league, cricket, and all them competitions now are their own standalone. So potentially one day there might be a standalone circuit that one of these tournament organisations runs. So,
and I reckon these ladies are heading in the right way. That
100%.
They'll probably do it very soon themselves. I know they run a couple of comps between themselves. That I think last one, I think they went fly fishing or something, and they did a barra trip. So that's even making some of the boys a little bit jealous. Also, this Sunday, we're teaming up for the Clarence Valley Sports Fishing local comp here. We're going to go chase some bass.
And you go chase some fucking stinking bass.
Yeah.
Look, I just thought, why not? We're there, and I just said to Bo, I said, I'm going to go for a fishing. Bo, I'm keen to go. I said, well, righto, let's do it. And I think it's a great idea to get out on the water, go chase some bass. Big shout out to Mr. Swanson. I've been talking to him a little bit over the last couple of days. He's given me some intel, even though he sort of went for a quick little sneaky look over the week there, or yesterday, just gone.
Don't believe a word he says here.
He said it was sort of somewhat quiet, but he said that the tide was a little bit mundane when they were fishing in certain spots. So, I suspect by the weekend comes along. And he also mentioned it was a bit patchy throughout the river in the way of like what was clean, what was dirty, which is probably reflective of that couple of big storms that we had here, I guess, last week. It's probably just enough to stir things up and maybe just quieten things down for a day or two. But I assure you, probably by today, I'd say things would be starting to fire back up again.
Yeah, I went for a little. Anyone knows me knows that I love a drain and everything about a drain.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if the tide's stopped. There's always a little bit of flow in a drain. And the farmers had the drain gates open, so hopefully they're still open on the weekend. We can
the old drain. So
get a bag out of that quickly.
I'm probably a little bit. I'm going to be a little bit of a baby about my GT56 on the bottom of the crack, and I don't know if I want to scratch that up yet in the drains. But I know the couple that do go good, and sort of
bigger open ones.
Yeah, maybe a couple of bigger open ones for now. And I've got I've got a few tips and tricks to try from Swano himself. So
and he's been on fire of the last.
He's consistent, very consistent. Yeah,
last 8 local comps that have been on the river. He's always up in there.
Yeah, and the good news is he's told me he's not fishing, but as you say, you just never know with the man. So
I was going to say, you got to watch out for that. He's a young fella too.
Yeah, Archie.
Archie can swim a stick.
Yeah, he's going good too. I've seen a couple of big bass he's been holding. So
what else do we have?
Well, I'll just jump in the ABT while you're looking through your book. So I'm just looking at this now, and I'm assuming that everything's in and everything's finalised. It's 3:45 in the day. But it looks like Darryl Baird has won the ABT boater at Lakes Entrance. So the first ABT of the year. So congratulations to him. It looks like he had a total 10 for 11 kilo, which is 5 kilo bags. There's it's sort of becoming the normal now, but it's still a cracking bag nonetheless. And look, just as I scroll down there, there's a couple of guys there. Brad Hodges is always strong there. Mario, he's in the top 10. Mark Healy's in the top 10. Cromo in 10. And as we sort of scoot down, we've got a lot of competitors still there that even into the mid, probably about the 30s. We still have, I think we still have 5. So we had 10 fish limits. So that's really good to see. And also, I guess from there, we better just have a quick shout out to the non-boater. And the non-boater was Simon Krause. So he got his 6 fish limit for 7 kilo, which is pretty handy. That's pretty handy. So, look, it looks like everyone's had a good time there. And now I think they'll have a lay day tomorrow, and then they'll head to Malakuta for the second round, which will commence in a couple of days' time. So congratulations to all the contestants, the place getters there. And I hope Malakuta is just as exciting for the competitors as it is for us as well. So thank you.
Yeah, that's some good bags there. Now I'm going to throw you in the mix straight up.
Mm.
Who's going to win AOY for the Brim this year?
I think it is hard to go past. I think Mark Healy, Mark Crompton, and Jamie. Obviously, we had Jamie on a few weeks ago, but when you talk Brim, you them three guys sort of keep in my mind. And to be frank, Steve's always in and around it as well.
Yeah.
So, I think sometimes, Steve sort of probably doesn't chase probably as hard as what he wants to sometimes. I'm not sure. But I think them other three guys, look, they've got a lot of skin in the game. They've been and fished these arenas multiple times. And I think time on the water on multiple arenas will equal success at some stage. So
Exactly.
I think them guys are probably looking pretty good. Because there's no Tasmania this year. There's a couple of rounds in Western Australia, but I think all the brim fisheries are pretty common sort of ones to have. Taree and Foster. It's probably been a couple of years since they've been there, but excuse me, the Lakes Entrance, Malakuta, Hawkesbury generally feature in most years of the ABT. So if you do good at them events and you turn up to them events, you sort of, you obviously had a fair bit of skin in the game if you turn up to them three, because they're pretty consistent places for ABT to hold their events. So,
okay.
But anyhow, that's what I sort of think with that one. Any other news for you?
A little bit of sad news actually. Westy, Charles West,
yep,
listener of the group.
Yep, Breaker Billy.
Yep, Breaker Billy. Tackle Lane is no longer, their website is no longer going to be online. So I don't know exactly what's happened there, but if you love the Tackle Lane product stuff like I do, it's still
they make a pretty mad buzzbait, I hear.
Yeah, we might be throwing them on the weekends.
Cool.
Yeah, message Charles West personally, and you can still get some of the good product. But yeah, unfortunately, website's now shut down, but you can still get the stuff.
Yeah, righto.
Just have to message him directly.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I heard them buzzbaits are pretty mad, so you might have to get some. Just to clarify, it's still going, but the website's not operating at this point in time.
Yeah, at this point in time,
Okay,
website's been shut down. So
yeah, all right, no, very good. Yeah, well, that's anything else?
No, that's about it. Other than we've got a phone call that we can...
Yeah. So look, I might just talk on while you probably get that organised.
Yeah.
But yeah. So look,
actually, before the phone call, did we want to do some stories?
We'll do the stories at the end.
Yeah, right. We'll finish.
It'll be easier for me to edit because I'm going to have to edit some stuff out of this. It's look to just sort of, how can I say it? Just to keep the listeners interested. We had a bit of a get together at Woody Heads a few weeks ago, and look, we're sitting around the campfire, and a few yarns got told. And they're true as shit, but there's some wording there that we're probably going to erase just for YouTube and probably Spotify's benefit, that they'll probably give me a little smack on the hand. So but you know what it's like, everyone's sitting around having a few chooks, a few funny stories come out around the campfire, and look, we will play these after we talk to our next guest. So look, this next person, I have to give credit to Bo. He's organised this, and yeah, I've obviously, I do follow him. I haven't really met him in person. He's a bass angler, so I don't hold that against him. But look, further to that, I think he might have some interesting yarns here for us, and it'd be a great insight to understand how his fishing started and where it's going to. I suppose is probably essentially where we'll bring the story to, and listen to how he's gone about it. So for no further ado, we'll just see if we can call in Adam Mears.
Let's see if he picks up.
Could be a stitch up.
Yeah, this could be.
mate. How you going?
Good, Bunny. How are you?
Yeah, good.
How you going, mates? Adam, you're on the Two Pelicans podcast, and g'day, and how's it all going?
Yeah, good, man.
Good.
So, one of the main reasons I wanted to give you a call and bring you onto the podcast is we're going to talk about what you did on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, yep.
You're pretty successful down there at Glenbourne, down at the Family Bassins event.
Yeah, I went down with my father and my little girl, and my little cherub. She's 10 years old, and she's been hitting me up to do some comps for about 12 months now. And so I said, "Oh, look, when we find one that's suitable and one that we think you're going to enjoy and that we can get to as a family," I said, "We'll go and do it." And this one just happened to pop up, and we went down. Dad and I had sort of, not really pre-fished hard or anything, but we'd normally go down for a social down at Glenbourne most weekends. So we'd gone down there and sort of cracked a bit of a pattern over the last couple of weeks, and showed up for the competition, and it happened to play well. So we finished in second spot overall for the weekend.
Nice.
Won our first session, so they fished that comp in two different sessions.
Yeah.
With prizes down to fourth for each session. So we won our first session by about 200 grams, and then only just sort of, I think we finished second in our second session too, but a couple of boys managed to nab us there at the post, unfortunately.
Because in that first session, it was, I believe, 4 fish for 6.046 kilos.
Yeah, we had like a 1.5 kilo average, so.
That's nice.
That's fishing well.
And can I ask, Adam, how old is your daughter?
She's 10 years old.
I know, yes. I've got a 10-year-old daughter as well. Great.
Yep.
Yeah, loves it. She's been sort of, she social fishes with Dad and I fairly regularly.
Yep.
And she's only just starting to get serious into the lure fishing, and we got her stuck into soft plastics fishing there last year in winter, and got her used to casting on her own and working a plastic back. And for this comp, it just happened to be really lucky that it was mostly a deep chatterbait bite, and it was as simple as pegging them out as far as you can across these flats, and just slow rolling them along the bottom. And I think the bass was staging up pretty much outside of the old riverbed.
Okay.
They were coming up at certain times of the day to feed. So sometimes you'd be up on the flat and there'd just be nothing, and you think, "Holy smokes, where did all my fish go?"
Yeah.
That's
a really good point, though, for someone that doesn't do a lot of bass fishing, especially in the dams. In summertime, my preconception is that the fish should be on surface or in the shallow waters, but you've had more success, by the sounds of it, recently fishing the old, I guess, riverbed, which would be quite deep in a lot of them parts of the dam.
Yeah, so we found that most of the flats we were fishing were in about 40 foot of water.
Mm-hmm.
But a fair percentage of those fish were sitting on the thermocline in about 20 foot.
Okay, yep.
So we were sort of throwing out, counting down. We got the live scope set up on the front of the boat. So for the first couple of casts, we were sort of just counting down how long it would take our chatterbait to sink down to about that 20 foot mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd engage the reel and just slow roll back in from there. So
yeah, okay.
My daughter just was sitting up the front, and every cast, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. She got down to about 10, and then she just kicked the reel into gear, and quite often you just hear, "Dad, I'm on!"
Whatever works, right?
Yep. So that's what worked for her. Not having to watch live and things like that. She just knew that she had to fan some casts out on this flat. I believe they were probably eating yabbies or whatever on this mud flat.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just responding to those slow rolled chatters. And
they were the jackal ones, weren't they, Darabro?
Yeah, the jackal charra blades. So they were sort of we did try a couple of different variations. I'm lucky enough this year to be sort of looked after by the Your Outdoor Experience guys, and we threw the Noiki chatters as well, just in 3/8 of an ounce. But they just weren't quite heavy enough on this occasion to sort of get down to where we needed them to hold.
Yeah, right. So here's a question. I'll just put a quick question out to yourself and Bo here. For a broom wanker that's going to go do a bass comp on the weekend, any pointers on these chatterbaits? Do they work well in rivers?
Oh yeah,
I'm getting a nod over here, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I generally prefer a spinnerbait in the river over a chatter, personally.
Yep.
But yeah, chatterbaits work really well too. Just casting them into the snags, letting them sink down, and just slow rolling them out.
Yep.
Try not to do anything too fancy.
Those Nike ones go all right in the rivers.
Yeah.
They're a smaller profile. And, yeah.
So, Adam, I guess we were just talking before you come on about the Women in Recreational Fishing League, and just talking about your daughter there. Do you think that you might try and get her into something like that, or get to one or two of them comps, in the years to come, especially if she stays interested in it? Because I know. When they get to teenage years, it's they sort of go off fishing a little bit. Sometimes they stay right on it, and other times they go off it and eventually come back to fishing. But what are your thoughts with that?
Yeah, look, I'd love to get her into the Women's Recreational Fishing League. I'm not 100% sure on the age limit for that.
Yeah.
I'd assume probably like most competitions, it's probably about 16. But if there's any other lady fishers out there that are sort of looking to take someone under their wing, I'd be happy to sort of point my little one in the right direction. But I'd love to be the kind of dad that if she's interested in that, to take her down every weekend.
Yeah, no, they look. You can go out in the boat as well. It's pretty social. From what we had Lauren, and I forget her other name. I'm going to get shot here. Laurie, sorry, and who? Yeah, that's all right. If Joey was here, Kendall, and we've had Karen as well. But right. Look, I'm pretty sure that that there's no qualms in doing that. So that's really good, mates. Look, while we got you, I got just a few questions about how you got into fishing, and then how you transitioned into, I guess, fishing with lures, and then potentially starting up or going to tournaments. Can you talk to us through that journey for yourself?
Yeah, so look, I probably started fishing when I was about 3 years old, to be honest. My old man and my pop were always big into fishing. We lived over on the coast in that sort of Lismore region when I was a young bloke.
Yeah, right.
And we sort of we sort of spent most weekends down at Ballina or whatever, chasing bream and whiting and all that sort of stuff, and any of the bread and butter species. But we moved out to Tamworth here when I was about 10, and I still loved my fishing, but the old man was not real keen on freshwater fishing.
Yeah, okay.
But he was more than happy to take me down and, chase a few carp here and there. But I sort of started to get an infatuation with lures, and, I'd see them on the shop walls and whatever, and I was like, oh, man, I want to get into that.
Yeah.
And Dad worked a lot of shift work back then, and so he'd start work at 6 in the morning. So quite often I'd go to the tackle store and buy a lure or two.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd just drop me off down at the river, and I'd spend all weekend down there teaching myself how to lure fish. And getting those first couple of yellow belly and small cod and things like that on the lures really sort of kickstarted a passion for me. And I'd always wanted to do tournament fishing, but I was always a bit of a shy fella, and never really stepped into the tournament scene until I got into it was only about 3 years ago.
Okay. So what was your first tournament, if you don't mind me asking, and what was your experience from that?
So first tournament was a Family Bassin event.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of years back. Dad and I actually, both of us had suffered from depression along the line, and Dad was still not into the freshwater fishing at this stage, and Mum talked me into taking him out one day, and we sort of forced him to get in the boat. And we went down to Glenbourne to have a bit of a muck around, and we got onto a few bass that weekend, and then we just decided, right, let's do a couple of comps as father and son, and just try and spend some time on the water together.
No, that's really good.
And the bug just bit us from there, and we competed in many teams events together, and had moderate success. We sort of finished in the top 10 fairly regularly, but not setting the world on fire.
Yeah. Stop being so honest.
But, it's just how it was. Then there was a situation a couple of years ago where another team's event started, and our team event that we were fishing folded. And I said to Dad, well, how about we have a crack at ABT, and we'll go in as non-boaters and just learn everything we can, try and develop our skills. And just see what happens from there. And we took it on, and I can't speak on Dad's behalf, but I fell in love with the ABT format.
Yeah.
I love being paired up against the best anglers in the country. I love the challenge. And yeah, did really well. I thought it was like a duck to water. Won Rookie of the Year, and I think 3rd overall in my first season as a non-boater.
If you're going to come into it, that's how you want to go, isn't it?
Which was good because I'd already written some articles and stuff for some fishing magazines when I was younger, and I'd always sort of thought I was a decent angler, but I wanted to prove that I could sort of keep up with the other guys. And, had a successful year, and then came back the following year and won the non-boater of the year for that year. So, that was the stepping stone for me, and then transitioned into boater in the ABT circuit last year, and had a reasonable year there too. So
really good.
I just fell in love with tournament fishing, and I think there's just that little bit something extra about competing against, 30 or 40 of the other best anglers in the country to try and showcase your skills and prove yourself on a bigger stage.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I think look, away from that, it's just another opportunity, A, to get out on the water, but B, if you're competing against the best, you're also learning from the best as well. I guess that through my experiences, one of the things that I've always taken in, I've never gone, oh, bugger it, I'm going home, and not listening about how people caught them or how their day went and stuff like that, because I think essentially, like, you learn so much in them sort of presentations and things like that. And I know Steve does a couple of presentations and puts them up on the socials. But look, away from that, it's just and we just spoke about it before. The concept of who shares wins, I think echoes with this podcast as well, because we sort of call it for what it is. There's no, as I said, this podcast is no secrets. We don't have people editing. We don't have all this stuff of sort of faking it up or whatever. It is what it is, right? And we're always quite happy to talk about fishing gear and spots and things like that. And that's, I know we're probably with Bo as well, but that's very reflective of my own channel. So, so that's really good, because I think a lot of anglers appreciate that, and it sounds like you're one of them as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly helps. We have a group of anglers that we sort of fish with on the regular, and it's good to bounce off ideas and things like that. Like, we stepped into weekend just gone, and I guess the regular pattern in February is that the water's hot at Glenbourne, the bite is really deep, everyone's fishing gulps, and everyone's catching the same sort of quality fish. And I'm not going to be a fibber here. I hate the deep gulp bite. I'm not a big deep plastic slow rolling fan. And Dad said the same thing. He said, look, if we do a comp in February, like, we're not going to sit out on the boat and just deep roll these grubs. Let's go and do something different. And, we consistently found a much better quality of fish on the chatterbaits. And even though we caught some fish on the soft plastics, we were getting 800-900 grammers on the plastic as our sort of average size fish, and then 1.2 to 1.5 is our average fish on the chatterbait. So,
well, talking about that size, your little girl got junior big bass, didn't she?
Yeah. So,
that went 1.722 kilos.
Wow,
that's that's
a
hunk. I bet the squirrel went off the front of the boat when she hooked onto that.
A genuine 50 forker from Glenbourne, which I still haven't ticked off my own list. Which she thoroughly let me know about. But it was quite funny, actually. She was up the front of the boat with me, and Dad was down the back. And I said to my daughter, I said, "Hey, look," I said, "there's two big fish out there." I said, "Look at the arrow on the front of which way the electric's pointing." She goes, "Yep, I can see it." I said, "Throw it as far as you can that way, and we're going to watch it sink down the screen."
Yeah.
And sure enough, the cast was like pinpoint perfect. It was like 5 meters past this pair of fish. It sunk straight down. She clicked the handle into gear, and sure enough, like, one fish followed it, and then the second one screamed after it and smoked it. And she's just like, "Oh, Dad, I've got him. And I couldn't have been prouder as a dad. And, she was just jumping for joy, and just watching her sort of pick up all the, you could see her absorbing the information of, watching the sounder and where her lure was and what was happening.
Yeah.
it was very good to see a 10-year-old take that in. And I haven't been sort of so lucky as to fish with a lot of, younger anglers coming through.
Yeah.
And you sort of take it for granted, we've all been around fishing tech and whatever for a long time, and you just take things for granted. But when people are learning and you're watching those light bulb moments happen as they're learning, that you think, yeah, this is cool. It doesn't get much better than that as a dad to witness it. And of course, at the end of the weekend when she realised that she'd won the junior bass, the senior ladies bass, and the overall big bass for the weekend, that she got this wonderful swag of kit from all the sponsors of the event, and she's just like, "Oh, Dad, I've now got a $200 voucher to go and spend at the tackle store." And I went, "Yep, cool. Like, let's go and get you some new gear." And she's pretty stoked to increase her arsenal. So,
that's a massive win for a 10-year-old. That's really great. So, I know, I think with my daughter, she's got, I think, junior big rim once, and we put a bit of money towards it. And we got her another rod rod and reel because the other one accidentally fell out of the boat. But she got something a little bit better. But look, away from that, talking about your Glenbourne experience, the boat that I've got there at the moment, it's only, I don't know, maybe 3 months old now, or I've only been using it for 3 months potentially, probably less than that actually. And she does hold the current record for the biggest brim on that boat. So, and she lets me know every time as well. So, God bless her.
Yeah, no, it's really good. We've got another one. I think there's another Family Bassin event in about a month's time. And Dad and I weren't sure if we were going to make it, sort of thing. But, because of her enthusiasm, we're going to sort of make the moves to make that happen for her. And,
that's great.
Yeah, no, we're sort of looking forward to teaching her all the new, tips and tricks. And, she's certainly toweling us up too at times. So it's really good to see.
Mate, that's really good. Look, what we'll I was just going to just touch on that Family Bassin for someone that doesn't look at too much of the bass stuff. So is that mainly at Glenbourne Dam, and how many rounds a year is that? Bo probably knows this, but I'll ask you.
Yeah, well, actually, I haven't looked at how many rounds there are this year.
Okay.
Normally, Family Bassin sort of bounces between Glenbourne Dam, St Clair Dam, and Lake Lyell.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's normally 6 rounds a year and a grand final, but don't quote me on that.
Mm-hmm.
This is our first year back doing the Family Bassin for a couple of years, so we'd sort of give it a rest because we were sort of more focused on our ABT individual things, and now the little ones involved, we'd love to get to doing the Family Bassin and probably even the Bass Electrics if when the closer ones come towards us here at home. So
there's some closer ones going out there, Bo?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Might come to keep it or something. We might do a cod round.
Cod round.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
It's a nice sort of a bit more of a laid back series, that Family Bassin. We
of course,
there's a bit more. I think there was like 7 juniors there this weekend and quite a few lady anglers. So it was really cool to see them all get involved in the sport and just see them having a good time.
And that's what it's about.
But people were quite happy to share information of what was working for them.
Yeah.
Everyone has their little secrets, of course. Whether certain things work or a certain colour worked.
Yeah.
We sort of found that a particular colour and style worked so much better than others on the day.
Was it a black blade or a silver blade?
Oh, can't tell you. No,
Yeah.
no, it was actually the brown dog in the Chara blade on the Saturday. It caught 90% of our fish.
Mm-hmm.
We did throw a black one. We threw I think they call it Glow Viz, which is like green and white.
White one.
And it just wasn't working. And then the next day it was like a brown one with a bright orange sort of flash through it. And they'd sort of switched, but we found that it was all time dependent, which I guess is a little bit different to how the rivers sort of function. I guess the rivers was, we like to fish the rivers, but it's very tide dependent.
Yeah.
But we noticed out at the dam on both days of the event, we didn't catch a fish before 9 a.m.
Yeah. Okay.
So quite regularly we were on spots that normally produce first thing in the morning, and there wasn't a fish to be seen, and panic mode starts to come in where you go, holy smokes! Like yeah, have I butchered this or what? Like something's
Yeah.
going on. And, I said to Dad, let me flip back through my notes because I always carry a notepad with previous trips in it and stuff. And I just went, actually both days we didn't catch a fish till 9 o'clock. And so sure enough, we drove back over to the same spot that we just fished for 2 hours for nothing. Seen nothing, and then turned back up at the same spot, and the sounder lit up with probably 100 fish on it. So, it was the first experience I'd had where the Glenbourne bass had sort of showed similar behaviours to, say, like Lake Somerset or Wivenhoe, where they showed up at certain points or flats at certain times of day.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. It was a good learning curve for me. And I'm always still learning. Like, I've been fishing for a long time,
You'll never
but I think
know everything, will you?
No, and that's right. There's always somebody out there that knows more than you, or has learnt more than you, or has experienced something different. So it really pays to sort of fish with these guys.
Yeah, it does. But I always find too, like, look, people learn a few things or whatever, but in different conditions, they may not have learned it, with that condition, or haven't learned it with that time of year, or that tide, or that moon, or so you know what I mean. Like, I always find that even I guess with some of the goats that we do have, that I think they'll tell you that they still walk away some days going WTF. But fishing is a learning, and if you get one day and you think you know everything about fishing, then it's probably the day to go play lawn bowls.
Yeah, I think the big one for me was last year when the Australian Open in the ABT.
Yeah.
We fished Glenbourne Dam, and I'd been having an absolute sort of ripper of a pre-fish leading up to the event. I thought I knew what was going on, had a game plan. Fished the first day, it was absolute rubbish. And I thought, oh, man, couldn't get much worse than this, bombing out of my home lake and not having a good time. And then when I checked the leaderboard at the end of the day, I seen like two of my bass fishing idols here in Australia, Matthew Langford and Mick Johnson, pigeon pair on the bottom, having not caught a fish for the whole day. And I just went, wow. That never happens. Some of the best anglers in the country just on that day just didn't work it out, or the plan just didn't go to plan. So, it's another thing to just, I've got a few mates that, if you're fishing for an hour or so and you don't have a fish, the head goes straight between the lap, and it's the worst thing in the world. It's the worst day in the world.
Yeah.
It's funny how quickly fishing can change from being from rocks to diamonds and vice versa.
Oh yeah. So,
all right then, mate. Well, on that note, we might let you go. I know you've just finished work, so
we'll let you get back to your routines. And look, we appreciate you coming on our podcast to have a bit of a yarn and tell us about the recent comp, especially. Hearing that you come second with your daughter is a lovely little achievement, and I'm sure it's something that I think she will, as well as yourself, will remember for a very long time to come. And it's also given you guys probably to strive to be number one as well. So, look, Adam, thanks for your time once again, and look, we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Good on you. Cheers, mate.
Thanks,
Bye. Well, that was quite a good little discussion there with Adam. So that was really good insight, and talking about getting your family into fishing. I guess what he's done there is definitely what this podcast is probably about is getting the next generation into fishing again. Talking about, I think, some of the nice moments there where she was actually up on the front of the boat and looking at the sounders and things like that. And what was the one? Was it one chubby or something?
One chubby.
Yeah.
And then whack.
Yeah. So I think things like that, as a parent, you're definitely going to appreciate. So that's really good. Look, what I'll just do, I'll keep talking while Bo's about to get some yarns ready around this campfire that we just mentioned there before. But actually, before we do that, Bo, we'll probably just go have a look to see if we can find that Daiwa ad.
Hey, P2.
Hey, mate, what's up?
Mate, now that I've got this boat here and I've got the electronics on the way, I'm going to need some fishing gear.
Mate, you can't look flash in that new rig without some new fancy fishing gear.
I know.
Mate, I can only recommend one thing. I would head over to the Daiwa Australia website, mate, and make yourself a little bit of a wish list, and then head into your local tackle store and see if those legends can get it in. Because if there's one thing I know, mate, Daiwa Australia, they have it all. Whether you want a brand new rod, a nice new shiny reel, or some new line to go on it, and you're going to need some tackle, of course, they have it all. Daiwa Australia is your one-stop shop, and the big supporters here, Two Pelicans Podcast.
All right, thanks for that, Dial Australia. And look, we'll just get into them yarns there now. So if you're seeing this, I'm pointing and directing P3 here. He sort of got hold of half the tech because I don't have a fruit phone. So while we get that ready, long story short, for whatever reason, my phone won't go through the system that we've got here. I've tried different calls. I've tried to do a few things, and unfortunately, P3's been stuck with these on us now, so I'm just going to be like directing and finger pointing at him.
At least your phone will take good pictures on something.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, well, look, they better be good pictures. They better be big fish. So that's right. So look, we'll play some yarns. Look, I'll just sort of paint this picture again. We're basically at Broom's Head over just around the holiday period there at the end of the holidays. We're just sitting around a campfire there, smashing down a few chooks, and yeah, here comes a few yarns. Some of this stuff will be edited because there's a few P's and Q's in there that I guess YouTube and Spotify probably won't like, but in the context of it, you'll get the picture.
Here we go.
I think it's a slick story.
Nah, it's not more. Do yours, bro. Talk. Do that trip. Do that trip, Jazz.
No, I think it's Tuppy's story.
I just done that trip. I just done it. It's your turn. What trip, Jazz? Which one?
When we camped out at the Ben's Falls retreat.
Yeah.
Remember Pete just brought the brand new brand new overhead rod. He was so pumped about. He was so excited about it. It was so good. And then we come back in the cabin later that night, and there was the same rod on the wall that was broken. So we've got it, and we've stitched up Pete, put it up there, and it's gone, oh, Pete put it right there with his gear on it. It's like, fucking who broke me fucking rod? He's carried on like a pork chop. It was a big stitch up.
He lost his shit.
He fucking lost it. He's like, someone just broke it and put it in the fucking corner and didn't say it. Fair enough if you broke it, but fucking just tell me. Well, anyway, it wasn't even his rod. It was just the same one. It's all good.
Same little trophy rod. That was so funny. Already blame me,
So that was one of the stories. So we'll just play number 2, and then we'll just talk about that a little bit further. So do you want to hit number 2 there, P3?
Coming in hot.
Yep, so that happened the whole time, Azza. So Uncle Azza's got back from Europe. You got back from backpacking around. We took you to Pindari. So we've met Corbett out at Pindari Dam with the mob, Adrian, and I think, Jazz, were you there on that trip? No. So we got the group of blokes. Corbett's turned up with the black and white border collie. What's his name, Corbett? Sea Dog. No, it was cool. And I was like, well, what do you call? Said Tubby. The thing ate like 4 ball sinkers. We had to take it to the vet, and $400 later, and it shit one out or something like that was the story. But prior to that, it shit in the camp, ate someone's bait, and away we go. So a day or later into the fishing thing, we've gone up the back of the dam, and I don't know what happened, Corbett. Like me and you were together, hey?
Yeah, we'll run thick.
Yeah, we'll run thick. We're running past each other like a couple of idiots trying to cast over each other and get the best cast in. But best moment, I still remember it today, was I was sitting on a rocky outlet, looked down, Corbett's throwing a spinnerbait, and just seeing this spinnerbait just floating through the water, smicko as, and this cod just come out and banged it, just went, oh my God.
From a long way away.
Yeah. And we were only ginger. Like, we haven't caught too many cod back in them days. We're all kids. And pretty cool. Pretty cool thing.
Cool.
Yep, always tattooed in my mind. And that's pretty much like set off from cod fishing from then on.
Shit, did that actually work? That was a fucking good story,
There's plenty more. I've got plenty.
Yeah, it did.
Old cod dog.
Yeah, so look, that original story, old Sea Dog. He was a good dog, but look, that one particular day there, I think I left him at camp, and Tup and I went up and fished where the Severn commenced into the Pindari Dam, and we had a great day. I think we might have spoken about this previously on the podcast, but just two blokes. I was actually throwing a Bassman buzzbait with a twin blade, so they sort of worked against each other. It absolutely causes a massive ruckus on top of the water, but we probably got about 30 cod between us that day, and no huge ones. Probably an 85 was the biggest, which is still a healthy fish up in what I would call skinny water. So once you start walking up there, it's somewhat of skinny water. Look, I went with a guy a couple of years after that, and we got a 63 pounder in the dam. So it's definitely a great place out there at Pindari. I enjoy every minute. The only problem is I just don't have time to get my ass out there with everything else going on these days. But
it'd be nice just to have a boat over there so you didn't have to tow it over. That's the worst part.
Yeah, going through Emmonsville Road there is pretty wild. But look, big shout out to Mr. Bumpy. He's contributed on the show. Mr. Bumpy and Jazz. I think he turned up to our, 21st episode, whatever it was. We also had on there Tuppy, which is a pretty mad fisherman, and he definitely knows he's out to sea /fishing /river fishing. Probably one of them guys that will probably never fish a tournament, but definitely wouldn't look out of place. And then the other guy they mentioned too, old Ez, he's a madman. He's got he's got the mad RBT unit. So no, that was really good. But look, we're going to wrap things up soon. We're sort of getting to our time here. But any mud gudgeons of the week, mate?
The kangaroo that jumped out in front of me last night.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So coming back from work, obviously.
Coming back from Corindi, old Pacific Highway. If any locals know it. Come out onto the highway, and I literally just pulled out. I was probably doing 25, 30, and this root just literally... I don't even know what happened. I didn't even see him. Fucking
covert.
J-bomb. Straight onto the bonnet and literally wiped his bum hole across it, and then, a few scratch marks and that, but...
Yeah, okay. No, look, I've got only real one mud gudgeon, and anyone that knows me always looks at bit of training for yourself, a bit of self-teaching sort of stuff, and trying to learn, pick up new things every day. And so I seen something there on the internet, and stupid old me decided, I might sign up to that because I'm interested in that sort of thing. And it seemed reasonably priced at the time, so I went ahead with it. I think it was like $40, $50 Australian for like a couple of weeks or whatever. And I thought to myself, you know what? If I like it, I'll keep paying it. If not, I'll end the subscription. All good. Anyhow, so I get there, I get signed up, and I do the payment. And then next thing I know, these dickheads actually charge me another fee, like some sort of administration or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't know what it was. So my $40 turned into like nearly $90, and I was just pissed off. Anyhow, so I sent a message saying, hey, you know what? I didn't see this, rah. And they're like, oh, sorry, you need to read our terms and conditions. I'm like, no.
Not when it's 105.
Yeah, that's right. And so I went back there, and I kept going back and forward. And the only saving grace that I really had was that I did use PayPal. So I did lodge I threatened them and said, here's my counterclaim that I did lodge. And then all of a sudden, they're like, we're really sorry about that. We reviewed it again, and we will refund you your full refund now. So that were my mud gudgeons of the week. I think if they were open and transparent from the start, I don't know whether I would have paid the $90, but I definitely wouldn't have lost probably an hour and a half of my time trying to get that back. So, look, that's really grinded my gears. But look, we're come to an end now. 33, P3 has definitely come back for round 2, which is great. And look, we've got some exciting things that we're just trying to cook up here at the moment. Look, bear with us. Hopefully we'll have a few little road trips in the next month or so. Also, it's probably worth mentioning that ABT will be coming to town probably in about 6 weeks' time.
Yeah,
so
won't be long. We'll be busy that week.
We'll probably run around and see if we can grab a few guys for a quick reel and a quick discussion.
And if you want to talk, if you want to have a chat to us, send
us
a message.
Send us a message. Yeah,
we'll organise something.
Yeah, so it's probably a good point. If you've got a yarn or you've got any questions for the Two Pelicans, it's twopelicanspodcast@gmail.com. Alternatively, send us a message through Messenger, put something on our socials. More than happy to answer them questions, or if you have any other questions in and around the fishing world, or you want to bring something to our attention that probably might need to sort of be brought out into the spotlight, then by all means, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And stay tuned. I've maybe got a couple of comps running. We're just going to work out some things.
That's right. That's right. Look,
Yeah.
P1's been probably a little bit slack here. He's had his nose down there a bit, but as I mentioned, bear with us. Look, you've been listening to the Two Pelicans podcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Bo.
And we are the Two Pelicans. Goodbye.